we're rolling. I just put lotion on my hands because they were so dry, and I was just looking at myself in the camera for a second, and I was like, let me restart this and moisturize my hands before I have like grandma hands. But yeah, they're still kind of dry. So what I do when I moisturize my hands is I have to wet them first. I'll wash my hands and then moisturize them because like, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, oh, they're damp, so the lotion will soak in faster, which I think is true because that's what we can do if you're. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let me cross out my thing on the calendar. So, you guys, I was so excited to talk to you. As always, I'm always excited to talk to you guys. Like literally, this is like this marker won't open. This is like what I look forward to. I love talking to you guys so much. And this past week was honestly a lot. It was really stressful and really emotional. And I'm fairly certain it was this whole Venus and Chiron conjunction. I wrote down what I wanted to say again because I feel like the last time I did that, the video came out so much more structured and organized. But I'm gonna kind of go backwards with the list here because, so I feel like the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is my dad. And it's nothing bad by any means. It's a really good thing actually. And okay, so I don't exactly remember the comments and I don't want to put words into your guys' mouth, but what I will say is how I feel is it's always felt like people want to encourage me getting closer to my dad and talking to him more. And I do feel like I am doing that. I feel like I'm talking to him way more frequently, and when I do, it's longer. Yesterday we called for almost an hour, but that was because he was really drunk and he kept repeating himself, but I was like, it's okay because I just wanted to listen to his voice. And I called him and my mom on Thanksgiving. I called my dad first and I was crying because so on Thanksgiving I went to my friend's house and their family welcomed me and we sat down together and we ate and we said gratitude, and when they were doing what they were grateful for, I said I was grateful for the fact that I have a family to eat with. And I don't know, it just made me so emotional. And I was like sitting next to her dad, and her dad is so much like my dad. I swear, he is. If my dad was Mexican, that's my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have the same dad, I swear. Maybe we all have the same dad. I feel like, anyways, and it made me really emotional. I was like, I'm gonna go get some water, but I went to the bathroom and I started crying and I called my dad and I was like, Happy Thanksgiving, I miss you. And I called my mom too. My mom was so, listen, I love my mom, and I knew one of them was gonna do this, but she turned the whole conversation into a lecture. She's like, why aren't you doing this, this, and this? You know, like why don't you do this and stuff like that? And I was like, I heard you the first time when you told me that. And she was like, oh, you always know what to say, huh? Or like, oh, like you're such a charmer. You always know exactly what to say. And I was like, whatever. Because by the end of the conversation, I was like, don't ever forget I love you. And she was like, oh, really? You love me? I didn't know that. I thought like I thought I was the only one that loved you. And I was like, I don't know how to say it in English, but I said, "Gabagoine," which is like you're like child's play, you know, you're playing too much, you know. And she started laughing and I was like, you always know what to say, huh? Like I wonder you always tell me how I always know what to say. Where do you think I learned it from? And she starts laughing because I called her out. She's like out here and she's like playing games with me, and I'm like, where do you think I learned this behavior from? It's you. Okay, I learned this from you. It's whatever, but I can tell that I put her in a good mood, and I can tell that we were on way better terms than the last time we talked. And my dad called me again yesterday, and I can tell my relationship with my dad has gotten way better because before maybe last month, calling him was a chore and I didn't like talking to him. Getting off the phone with him would drain me, it would exhaust me, it would make me feel crazy. It was very irritating because he was always drunk. But like now, even when he's drunk, I get off the phone with him just feeling a lot better. I feel safe, I feel comforted. And my dad, he was telling me, he was like, hearing you cry made me very angry. And at first, I think it's very interesting how my dad's he's very well spoken. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because he's my dad and I know what he's saying or what he's trying to say, but he's really good at choosing words. I don't know. Because he was like, I hearing you cry made me very angry. And at first I kind of took it as you made me angry, but I was like, no, he didn't say you made me angry. He said hearing you cry made me angry. And I realized he was like, it was kind of like a omniscient perspective, if that makes sense. Kind of like, why is my son across the country alone on this holiday? You know, he should be with me. Kind of like that, you know? And he was telling me, he was like, you should come visit for Christmas or something, or like, you know, the holidays. And I think so maybe next month I'm maybe flying to Kentucky to visit, you know, my family and also go see my friend. The thought of it makes me very anxious because I've never been on an airplane alone, and that's what's mainly I don't understand the process of flying, but it's gonna be something that I have to learn eventually. So, and it kind of made me realize I want to travel more. I really want to go to like a different country or something, but I need to get a passport. Anyways, that's the spiel on my parents, and I'm just I feel really grateful for both of them right now, and I'm always grateful for them. You know, I always love them, even when they irritate me or even when they hurt me. I love them, and I know that they're living life for the first time just like me, and yeah, I don't know. And it's just like, I do want to do better, you know, I do want to better our relationship, and I really do feel like I'm doing that. I really feel like I'm getting closer to my parents. And if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the relationship has gotten better since we haven't been around each other, because I feel like being around them just it felt like they were like we were always projecting onto each other, or it always felt like we were kind of putting things on each other, if that makes sense. And so like it's very hard to get a read on ourselves. I don't know, that's just me. I just feel like I do better when I'm not around my family, because I feel like I soak up their energy so quickly that I lose myself in them. But yeah, my mom was telling me, she's like, you're really gonna do YouTube, or like you're really gonna do that? And I was like, I'm very passionate about this. And I can tell I don't know, you guys, because I can tell that with the fact that they even know about it, or the fact that I'm always mentioning it to them, I just get this vibe that they're kind of like slowly accepting that it's what I want to do, or what I care about. So I don't know. I'm very passionate about it, and I very much like it, and I can tell that they're coming around to it very slowly. Because the harder they resist a lot less. At first they were like, oh, that ain't gonna do nothing, you know, what are you, but now they're kind of like, are you sure, like really, is like, you know, I don't know. I can totally anyways, sounds like I'm trying to convince you. But yeah, that's the spiel on that. And this past Tuesday, oh my gosh, you guys, Tuesday was literally the worst day of my life. I cannot believe Tuesday even happened. I felt so horrendous and so disgusting because a lot of things were coming up in like my love life. So I was texting this dude that I met off the app, and I really got my feelings hurt, if I'm gonna be honest. But it wasn't so much he hurt my feelings, but it was so much like the actions reminded me of another time of my life, if that makes sense. So basically what had happened was I texted him. It was Friday. It was Friday because it was Black Friday. And I got on the app and I saw that he was active, and it made me so anxious. It like brought back so many terrible memories, and I'll explain in a minute. But just like that whole week, I was so triggered. I'm so glad that week is over. Thank everything. I'm grateful that Thanksgiving is over. How ironic is that? Oh my gosh, you guys, that was literally so bad. But basically, I saw him active on that app, and that made me so anxious because I was like, oh my gosh, like he's talking to other people. And the only and this is why I was getting very irritated, is because I was talking to other people. And it wasn't like seriously, I was doing it because I was scared that I would look dumb, only talking to him. I felt like that would just put me in a really bad spot. So what I did was I was talking to other people, but it wasn't like serious, like him and I had exchanged Snapchats. We were texting through there, and I was talking to him, and I asked him Saturday. No, I asked him on Friday. I think that night or that day, I was like, do you want me to delete the app? And he said, why do you ask? And I said, I'd rather you answer before I explain. And that's just because I didn't want to give him, like, I didn't want to tell him why I'm asking, because I felt like that would sway his answer, because it's a yes or no question, like, just answer the question. I don't know why. That is one thing my past roommate taught me. She always said it does not hurt to ask, and I didn't want to be like, can you delete the app, because that's your business. I don't care if you delete the app or not. What matters to me is if I delete the app, because if I delete the app, that makes my intentions crystal clear, and I can comfortably get a gauge on the situation, what your intentions are, what you're doing, because I know what my intentions are. Because at first my intentions were just like casual, but then they started becoming a little bit more serious because I felt like our conversation was like more serious, and it felt like we was really trying to be out here, but and I was so anxious because he left me undelivered literally almost cursed, the whole bloody day. And you guys are gonna call me crazy, but his snap score went up. So I was like, oh hell no. So I unadded him last night, deleted Snapchat, because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're not getting down like that. It is a yes or no question. You could say yes or no. Okay? And then we can, because listen, you guys, I have really bad attachment issues. Really bad. My attachment issues are so bad. Someone needs to put me in a straitjacket, okay? And put me in one of those pillow rooms. I have really bad attachment issues, and this was my way of working around them and communicating so that I wouldn't have to be confused about both of our intentions, because I feel like both of our intent, because then if I don't know my intentions, what I'll do is I'll project that onto him, and I'll like force an answer out of him as opposed to just taking a look at myself. So this was my way of making myself feel comfortable and making myself be like, okay, like, I know what I'm trying to do. I know what I have done. I know that he knows what I'm doing. And so, like, based on how he treats me, I can get a better gauge on what I'm dealing with here. Do you hear that? That's the washing machine. It's because the blanket's heavy. Anyways, I just like, I made this hot chocolate last night and I put it back in the microwave. The microwave was so disgusting. I was so embarrassed. But yeah, it was weird. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it to you guys because so I got a reading from my girl on Keen, and I got this, I think it was last night. It was either Friday night. Everything happened on Friday. Yesterday was kind of a blur. I'll tell you about yesterday in a second, or in a little bit. But I got a reading from her, and in retrospect, I kind of regret it because that was just like an impulse buy, but it was whatever. But I hope my roommate isn't home. I feel so bad because what if she's like sleeping? It's whatever. I need to wash it. Anyways, so when I got their reading, I was like, how does he feel about me? And do you have any advice for me? She told me that he really cares about me and wants to take care of me and wants like something more serious with me. And then she told me that I was worrying too much and that it was a subconscious thing, which I agree with. I agree that this was a subconscious thing. And then she was telling me that she was like, you're gonna feel lonely at times, but this is gonna be like a true love thing. And I don't know why, but the past few readings I've gotten from her, I just like, I haven't believed her, or I feel like it's like not true, or like, or I felt like she was telling me what I wanted to hear. And I don't like that. I don't like reading like that myself. I don't like telling people what they want to hear. I'll package what I'll do is I'll tell them what they need to hear in a way that it's like soft, and they want to hear it. I really hope my roommate's not home. Anyways, it kind of disappointed me because even this whole thing that she told me about, like my friend's brother and stuff like that, there's just something about it that didn't feel. It felt like she was telling me the truth. I know that she was telling me the truth, but there was something about it. I felt like she was keeping something from me, or I feel like I, I only got the details that I wanted to hear. I felt like there was more to it. I don't know, you guys. I really can't get an accurate gauge because I don't like that. I don't like when I'm talking to someone and within the first few days of talking to them, I get confused, I get anxious, and it's not my vibe. That's not how I want to operate. I'm hoping he doesn't reach out to me again, and even if he does, I'm just gonna tell him, go waste someone else's time, okay? Like, I'm trying to communicate to you for my own comfort and my own security so that things don't go south and I don't do something or say something that I'll regret or hurt your feelings or hurt my feelings. This is my way of keeping so that I don't do anything that is gross or this is my way of like a boundary, like kind of like that. And I don't like that. I don't like how that yes or no question just was not being answered. And I know he saw it. Okay, I'm not stupid. You don't not check your social media for an entire day. Come on now, especially when you're my age. Like, we're all addicted to our phones. Don't lie. Okay? Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie. Just don't do it, okay? I don't care. I know him well enough to know that I'm not stupid. And it was so embarrassing because like I was listening to Lover by Taylor Swift and I was like, wow, this song is such a bop. Like what if things work out? And I was like, whatever, girl. And the next day I was like, this is not gonna work out. And I still feel the residual pain. I still feel it in I think it physically manifested too because I'm a little bit sick. But yesterday what I did was I went to LA and just like a few places. I hit a few malls. I thought I was gonna buy some clothes, but then I was like, I've been buying a lot of clothes. I think I would rather, if I find something that like I need this, I will buy it. But I didn't find anything, so it was just like kind of like a bust. But I was very happy because I essentially was just escaping. I went to Victoria Gardens and I also I went to another mall, but I can't think of it right now. Oh, I went to outlets at Orange and I also went to Dayamo. If you live in LA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just went to those places, and I really liked just getting out and breathing. And I liked how many, there was a lot of people out because it was Black Friday, and like what happened to have been Black Friday, and the deals are still going, and it was just really nice. I'm gonna light this candle. I have this like pillar candle. I'm gonna light it. But it was really nice to get out like that. Because lately I've been feeling like I have a lack of control over my life, or I've been feeling like I can't do the things that I want to do, or I felt like I couldn't do them alone. Now that I have people in my life that I can go with. But I was just like, you know what? I'm allowed to go to these places if I want to by myself, because I used to do it all the time. And yeah, it was very liberating to go. I didn't buy anything. The only thing I got was some ice cream, and yeah, that was pretty much it. All I got was ice cream. And I also got, I think I got something else, but I can't remember what it was. I got a Diet Coke. Not the healthiest things by any means, but I still got them. But I also talked to my friend that I know that works down there. I want to move down there so bad, you guys. I want to live in like Torrance or like Carson, or just in that area so badly, like around De Amo. Even San Pedro, honestly, or San Pedro, whatever. I would love to live around there. Seriously, maybe not San Pedro. I don't really like that area. It's kind of like, I don't like the bridge that you have to cross to get there, and the freeways are very confusing. They're like freeways and then highways. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't like it. Because remember, I talked to this one guy that lived there, so I'll like drive all the way down there to go see him. Bloody idiot. And he just, this past spring was something else, you guys. But yeah, he lived over there, and I remember I would drive down there, and it was just like, I was just like, why is this area like this? Why? This place is scary. And there was like a harbor, like the San Pedro harbor, and I just did not like the look of it. It was giving like alien meteorite sighting. It was giving like spooky Scooby-Doo episode. It was giving like, I just did not like how it looked. You just see all these boxes and metal crates, like those huge metal crates, like you can literally live inside of one. And like those are like, it's for like ships to carry and stuff like that. I just did not like it, you guys. And all the lights, it's so overstimulating to look at. There's like huge cranes everywhere to lift up the crates. I don't like it. I don't like that harbor. I hate that the neighborhood that he lived in, because the roads were so tight, and they were so like hills. It would like dip down, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, they were very tight. People would drive there, and all the roads were very narrow, and on top of them being very narrow, people were parallel parked all over the place because it's overpopulated. And it's so uncomfortable, because it's just like, if you're going down one road, it's a two-way road, but you literally, if another car comes this way and you're going this way, you gotta pull to the side or something, or they gotta pull to the side. I just don't like it over there. But if it's what I can get, I will take it. But if I had to parallel park, I'm not going, okay? I'm not parallel parking, period. Actually, maybe I would, depending on the street and depending on the circumstances, but like, just generally speaking, if I have to parallel park, I ain't not doing it. But yeah, my friend down there recently, so my other friend, our mutual, she told me that she had moved somewhere down there, and I was like, dude, I want to live. I feel like I've kind of been a little bit in denial about like living closer to LA, just because living in LA just does not seem all that glamorous. But this isn't necessarily LA, it's more south, so it's just kind of like you're in the outskirts of LA, if you will. And I was like, dude, I would love to live in Torrance. It's so pretty there. The weather is perfect. I love the community. I love the driving isn't that bad. There's stores everywhere. There's plenty to do. Manifesting, okay? I've decided it's either that or West Covina, but I'm leaning more towards Torrance because West Covina's freeways are way worse. I hate the freeways there. And when I used to visit my ex, he lived, I'm not gonna say where he lives, but like he lived in that area, and he just like I, I would drive around there locally, because I was staying down there for like a week, and I was like, dude, I like this place. And at first I was kind of like, oh, like this is nice and stuff. But the more I go down there, the more I'm like, dude, I want to live here. This place is nice AF. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's expensive, but it's so worth it. I don't even care that it's expensive. I know, like, when there's a will, there's a way, girl. I just know, okay? I just know. If I want it, I have to have it. I cannot. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. Like, I just want to live down there just for a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know, you guys. I can't really say what I'm gonna do for like the next few years of my life in California, because I know I want to stay here for a little bit, but I don't think I'm gonna live here like my whole life or anything. I think that there will be a certain point where I move back to the east or just like move somewhere else, because I'm sorry, you guys, but retiring in California or like living here for an extended period of time just does not sound realistic. Even if you have the money, it's just like, why would you stay here? It's like you would spend more time sitting in traffic than just like enjoying your life and enjoying all the money that you've saved. So yeah, that's my logic. I think, but I really can't think that far, because based on how the world's going right now and all the things that are changing, I really can't say. But I do know that I want to live near Torrance, or I want to live in that area, and I want to move there and live there for a good amount of time. And it just sounds so nice, you guys. I would love my life if I lived down there. Well, maybe not loved my life, because I know that there's drawbacks to living down there. It's crazy, stupid, ugly, expensive, and the people, it's dangerous, and stuff like that. But also, I just know that it's exciting. It would keep my 20-year-old self stimulated and excited. It just, I'm sure you guys may understand what I'm trying to say, because like y'all are older than me and you've been like, my age before, but I would love it. I would love living down there. I'd probably take someone with me, or like try to get a roommate, because living down there alone is so unrealistic. Well, I think it's doable, but you better have like you better be like really rich or something, or you better make good money. But I wouldn't want to live alone down there anyways. I think that living alone, or living with people that you aren't very close with, it just like takes a toll on you, if you will. I don't know. I would rather live with somebody. I would rather be a friend than like a lover. I would not want to live with like, no, no. My friend was talking about it. She was like, I might have to move to LA for school. And I was like, that sounds like my chance, you guys. Sounds like my chance, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So, another thing that I was thinking about is last night I was watching this TikTok, and it was from this. Oh, by the way, this past week my screen time was going crazy because I was so on my phone the whole time. And this week I really want to change that. So this week what I want to do is I want to not check my phone at all unless it's like an important text or call, because it just happens. But I don't want to get on social media or like dating apps or anything until after I've done my skincare routine and stuff like that, until after I've gotten out of bed. Because I noticed last week I was just like laying in bed after I woken up for like an hour or two just on my phone, and it really damaged me. I'm not mad at myself for it, because it just happens, and I feel like beating myself up over it is just not going to do anything. But this week I really want to change that, and I don't want to do that. I want to not get on my phone as much, and I want to do other things. I want to play on my Xbox, I want to play on my DS, and it's just like, obviously those are still technology, but they're a lot better than just scrolling through social media. I want to just like get back to my hobbies this week and like get back to my routine, because I feel like last week my routine was really thrown off because of Thanksgiving, and my friend asked me for a ride to the airport, and I took her to the airport, and then the next day, like, like my morning routine has just been very off kilt, and like I feel like it manifested in, like, once again, a physical illness because I've been very all over the place. Aside from that, I really I want to make this week a good week. And tomorrow's the full moon in Gemini, and originally I was a little bit afraid of this full moon just because of, I don't know, you guys, every time I watch astrology videos, I realize that the horoscopes don't really manifest for me this way that they say it, and that's like a duh thing, like, but I like to still watch it just to look out for things. And I realized, okay, so Evan Nathaniel Grimm is definitely the best one, or like definitely my favorite to listen to just because he's so accurate. I think Amy Demure and like Beyond Tarot Veil Astrology, they're all really good, but Evan just like, he be hitting a nail on the dot or something, because he was like, you might have a conversation at the end of this month where it's like, no mom, I want to pursue this, I don't want to do that. And I was like, dude, that literally manifested for me like exactly the way he said. Like, it was literally word for word. So I was like, did he stutter? But anyways, so yeah, I can tell that this full moon in Gemini is like very appropriate considering this Venus and Chiron conjunction that just happened. And I feel like the astrology this week is going to be so much better. This past week was horrendous, okay? I'm still chalking it up as a good week because it was very healing and it made me realize what I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful for my friends, you guys. I love my friends to death. I was out yesterday. As you know, I went to the malls and stuff. And I was listening to Deja Vu by Post Malone and Justin Bieber. And that's a song that my friend introduced me to. And I was just thinking about her and I was like, dude, I love her so much. I'm so grateful for her. And she literally has, like, she saved me from a lonely AF life. I'm just so grateful for her. I love her so much. I love all my friends so much. I love you guys so much. And I was like, I shouldn't allow all of this stuff going on in my love life to ever let me lose sight of all that I've gotten these past few months and all that I've gained, just the things I've been able to do, talk about. I just feel like these past few months have been truly some blessings. And I think that they all started just like this, I feel like being around friends, being around, wanting to be with people and not be alone or have good friends. I feel like it started with this wound opening up of like, wow, like my past friends have really treated me like garbage before. It just hurts. Basically, like this pain that I'm feeling in my love life right now, I feel like this is the ultimate beginning to something new in my love life, or a new journey or a new version of myself, because I feel like the way I carry myself and the way that I relate to people has completely changed, especially men. Because, I was talking about this in the last video, but I really want to just be better with men. I just want to get along with men. Do I necessarily want a lot of guy friends? No, just because I feel like guy friend, I don't know what it is about guy friends, you guys. I feel like if you are not a straight man yourself, like being friends of guys is very difficult. Even like without the circumstances and context, just because I don't know, it's hard to relate to them. But aside from that, I want to keep improving, and I know that this incident, it has nothing to do, that's not an accurate example. And I know that this guy, whether or not he texts me again, I don't know if I want to talk to him. Maybe if he like says something and it like makes sense, like, but like generally speaking, I just feel like it's over, and I don't feel like I should stress about someone that I just didn't even know. I talked to my friend about it, and it was just really liberating to listen to what she had to say. She was like, you're worth it and stuff like that. I was like, thank you. She's right. I was like, wow, I am. Really don't need to stress. But I'm just so grateful for all that's come into my life lately. And I'm like thinking, oh, so that TikTok I told you guys about, I completely forgot, but she said, your Jupiter placement tells you a lot about who your husband will be. And I kind of took it as like your future lovers. I was like, let me just apply that. But she was telling me that, and I loved. Okay, so my Jupiter's in Leo, and I was like, I just like, I don't like relationships or when I'm the star of the show. You know, I don't like it. I don't feel like myself when I'm put on the spotlight like that, because I feel like I struggle a lot with my identity and who I am and what I am. So like when someone puts me on a pedestal like that, I start to feel like very scrutinized, and I start to feel crazy because I'm like do I, yeah, I just can't. And so the Jupiter in Leo placement, and correct me if I'm wrong, my Jupiter's in Leo and it's in the ninth house. And I forgot all the aspects, but I think it trines Pluto and it sextiles Mars, which is like really good because those are like the malefic planets. There's another one, but I don't know. Anyways, besides Saturn, I think it also trines Saturn. I don't know. I don't remember. But it just, it was making me think a lot because apparently the traits of if you have a Jupiter in Leo or like in ninth house, and your husband's going to be, or it's going to be very like proud, very giving, generous, and dominant. And I was like, ooh, where he at though? And I was very hype about it. But I think it's very funny because a lot of my other planets or other asteroids that signifies my future relationships are very all over the place, because my seventh house is in Gemini, and then my Mercury, the ruler of my seventh house, is in the 12th house, and then my Juno's in the 11th house. So is my Venus, and then, as you guys know, and then my Juno's in Libra. And then my Venus is all over the place, you guys. My Venus is 0 degrees, it's in Scorpio, and I was born during a Venus retrograde. So I think I was born like right as Venus is going direct, or right as, something like that. But anyways, I don't know what my future husband's gonna be like. By the way, you guys, after finding out about like all those benefits that you get from getting married in regards to like, taxes and stuff like that, I was like, I'm getting married. No wonder why y'all been getting married. No wonder why y'all want to get married. At least to my eyes, I was like, I thought y'all got married because y'all like each other, but I understand now. Maybe some people actually did that, but other people, like, I feel like people be dogging on marriage, be like, oh, it's for insecure people or this and that. I'm like, girl, no, that sounds like a financial investment, Julie. It's like you literally save money after you get married. I mean, granted, marriage is expensive and stuff like that, but it still saves you in the long run, I feel. Only thing that would drive me crazy is wearing a wedding ring. I hate wearing rings. I cannot stand wearing rings. I will wear a ring and then like I will keep taking it off. I'll fiddle with it, and I already know if my future husband has like Leo traits and I'm just sitting there fiddling with my wedding ring, he's gonna be like, "Do you want to get a divorce?" And I'm like, "No, I just don't like wearing rings. Okay, it's just like we already have like the same last name. Like, is the ring not enough? Like, or whatever." But yeah, I do like Leos, you guys. I don't really like Leo. Okay, in terms of like my future spouse, because I do like Leos, but in terms of like a spouse, I would not want a Leo sun or Leo moon. Oh my gosh, especially Leo moon. Please no, anything but that. But Leo risings, oh my gosh, I love Leo risings. I think Leo risings are so attractive. I like their demeanor. I like the way that they carry themselves. They're very, and I'm like, so my friend, she's a Leo rising, and I'm like, dude, she's so. I mean, granted, she's a double Venus place, so she's a Taurus Sun Libra Moon, so she's just all around Venus, and then with that Leo rising girl, you already know she's so beautiful. But I think it's very funny how like a lot of my friends have major Venusian placements, and even if they don't, they kind of just have like a very like weird Venus. So like they'll have like Venus and like I don't know. I just get along with people that have good Venus placements. Like my close friends, one of my close friends, she's a Taurus moon like me, and then another friend, she has a Libra Mars. But you guys, I swear, I'm a Taurus moon magnet. I just meet Taurus moons just like that. Just like that. Every time I meet people, I get this feeling about that. I'm like, I feel like you're a Taurus moon. Get their chart and they're a Taurus moon. And I'm like, you just understand, okay? Because the way that they talk and the way that they like carry themselves and like the way that they look at me, I'm like, you know something, don't you? Oh my gosh. I remember one time I was talking to this dude, and so the dude I talked to in spring, I don't know what it was about him, but like even the way that he looked, because I feel like we Taurus moons, there's like a specific way that we look. I feel like we look very relaxed, or I feel like our faces are very, you know? And I remember when he was eating food, the way he was eating, I was like, this is not like normal. This is like Taurus moon plate. And I remember I looked at him, I was like, what's your time of birth? And I got it. He was a Pisces Sun Taurus moon. I don't know what his rising sign was. It said Aries, but I don't think that was it. But I was like, oh my gosh, you're a Taurus moon. Sorry. And then this guy that I like hung out with last week, there was something about him too that just gave me like, I wonder if you're like a Taurus moon or like if you have Taurus placements. Because the way that he was talking and stuff, he was an Aquarius, but then I got his chart and I was like, you're a Taurus moon too. Why do I just attract Taurus moons? I was like, oh my gosh, and it's like the way that I meet them too, I'll meet them everywhere. My friend that's a Taurus moon, I met her from the post office, and I don't know, you guys. I kind of want my futures, like, I kind of want to date another Taurus moon or like some of like major Taurus placements because like even though I don't like I butt heads with Taurus like other Tauruses a lot, especially Taurus men. I butt heads with them, but my sixth house is Taurus, and I know that it's sustainable. I know that if I ever dated a Taurus, then like we would hit it off, you know, in the long run. I feel like at first it would be kind of difficult and it would take a little bit of like kind of fitting the pieces together and organizing something and finding something out that works. But once we do, I feel like we could seriously stick to it. Like my ex, he didn't have major Taurus. He was a Taurus Saturn, and he also had a Taurus fourth house, which is probably why I felt so like obligated to take care of him all the time, and it just like built resentment just like that. But you know, it's just like I feel like we developed a routine together, and when I'm getting to know someone, I don't care what your favorite color is, what happened in your childhood. What I care is what do you do on a day-to-day basis? You know, what is your day-to-day behaviors? Because I feel like that's how like I truly love someone. I feel like if I love you or if I'm comfortable and secure with you, I could text you and if you don't respond, I'm like, oh, they're probably doing this. And then they're like, oh, sorry, I was doing this. And I'm like, oh, I know. You know, because it's like we know each other. Like my close friends, I'll be like, I'll text them if they don't respond. I'm like, oh, they're probably busy, you know, because they're always doing this at this time of day, you know? And I feel like for me, when I know someone very intimately, it's their day-to-day routine, their day-to-day behaviors, and what they, you know, how they act. You know, are they spontaneous? Do they do this? Or do they get sidetracked very often? You know, that's what I like learning about people. I don't like relationships of any kind where I have to guess what people are doing, you know, like even my parents. Like I remember when I was little, if it was very late and I would I'm like, they're not at the store still, are they? And I would call them, and you know, it's just like I get used to that. I get used to what people are doing on a day to day, and that's why I want someone with major Taurus placements, because I feel like yes, it'll be hard at first, but I know that like they'll be good for me in the long run, and that it's sustainable, and that we do want something together, and that we will both stand on that history together, you know. But it's like so hard to like get to know other Tauruses or like, you know, get them to like warm up to you, because I feel like I'm the same way. But I'm willing to talk about it and I'm willing to figure that out, you know. But whew, I know I just wanted like be with somebody that like had like Leo risings. Oh my gosh, I love Leo rising. I kind of want to be with someone with Leo rising. And like I've like been with Leo risings before, or like I've like been around Leos, and then I like the way that they treat you. They're very like, if you give them attention, they're very proud creatures, and they'll like literally do everything. But I don't know. I know I want someone that's just like, whatever. I don't even really have any crazy expectations. I just hope that my next person that I'm with is a decent human being and they're socially respect. I don't like people that are very socially rude or like very just like not social. And not like in the sense that they're like antisocial, but it's just like be a decent human being to strangers, you know? Like my ex, he was so like rude to strangers at times, or like I just didn't like his demeanor when it came to like strangers and stuff like that, because I felt like it wasn't a vibe, you know? Especially when he would order food and stuff like that, and like the way he talked to the workers, and it was a turn off. That's why I want someone that's like that has really good social etiquette. I love people who are very nice to workers and stuff like that, but I also like don't mind when they're shy and stuff. Like if you because I feel like I'm an extrovert at times. But yeah. Okay, before I continue talking about this, I also wanted to bring up the TikTok shop because that is something that was very much irritating me this past week. Because I've been seeing all these things about these face towels. If you are on TikTok very avidly and you see skincare stuff, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it was like these people were like, oh, I use these face towels instead of using a towel or stuff like that. And people were like, use paper towels and stuff like that. I'm like, that is so wasteful. And I hate when people are like, it's recyclable, so it's sustainable. And I'm like, listen, I don't know much about the process, but I do know that if you recycle something, it takes energy, okay? If you want to turn an aluminum can into something else, that takes energy, okay? It takes heat, it takes presses, it takes whatever, you know? And sometimes the energy that is used to fuel that process is not sustainable, you know? Sometimes they use fossil fuels, sometimes they, it just, or like the process causes like pollution and stuff like that. And our faces weren't even designed to be washed with all these chemicals and like all these serums and stuff like that. So it's just like basically what I'm trying to say here is the best way that I've learned to take care of my body is understanding that my body knows way better than I ever will how to heal itself, how to take care of itself, and how to purge illness and how to purge acne. So what I do is I just do what I can and I let it do its job. I leave my skin alone, okay? I don't use that many active ingredients. The only thing that I use is retinol because I need to, like, I have a lot of acne scars. It's gotten better, but But yeah, I was very irritated by all these TikTok shop ads. And I'm like, first of all, I don't care, I don't want to watch ads on my freaking For You page. I want to watch memes and stupid videos. I don't want to watch you sitting here lecturing me for 3 minutes about how my skin's gonna break out just because I'm using a freaking towel. Like, girl, give it a break. Like, you look tired. Like, why do you think it's called reuse, reduce, recycle? Why do you think recycles last, okay? Why do you think that's the last one? Because it's just like, if you can reuse and reduce, but if you must, recycle. Does that not, what's not clicking, you know? Yeah, that was just something that really irritated me this past week. Absolutely ridiculous. Aside from that, that's not really all I had to say about that. But back to the husband thing. Very exciting to talk about this. I like talking about it. I feel like I used to be very shy about when I used to like talk about what I want in like a man and stuff like that. But now I feel like a lot more comfortable, especially because I know that like if you don't want to listen, like you can just click off, that I just find less security in that. But I don't know, you guys, there's a lot of things that my ex did that I really liked. There's also some things that he did that I just did not like. I don't know. I can't really remember because I have mostly forgotten a lot about the relationship in our day to day, but I remember like the big things that we used to do together and stuff like that. Oh, whew. But I do wonder what my future partner is going to be like. I wonder what his Jupiter placement was. I think it was in Cancer or it was in. Pardon me. Excuse me. He was like 2 years older than me. I think he's gonna turn like, I don't know, whatever. He had like that millennial syndrome because he's like Gen Z, but he like wanted to be like, he was kind of like 25% millennial and like 75% Gen Z. He wanted to be a millennial so bad. It's like, girl, whatever. I hate when people are like that. I hate when people want to be a millennial, and it's like I appreciate millennials, and I do think that there's a lot of things that they did right, but I love being Gen Z, okay? I don't know. And I don't hate millennials. I understand where they're coming from, but it's just like, dude. Anyways, I feel like there's something I forget. I feel like that's really all I had to say. The bulk of it was just like this whole love life thing with this dude. Like, I don't think I want to meet someone on the app because I don't think that's my vibe. But oh, here's what I will say before I go. So we're already at 50 minutes. So when I was at Thanksgiving dinner with my friend's family, the way that her older brothers were treating the little siblings, it was not a vibe. They were very much like bullying them, and it just reminded me a lot of when my brothers would bully me, and I was just like, ooh, this is a big turn off. I like felt it in my soul. Like my heart was shaking. Like I don't know, it was just like shaking me because I was like, I hate watching children be like bullied, or I hate watching children be mistreated by adults, because it's just like they're kids. What can they do against you? They're helpless. Why are you being so mean to them? It's not babying them, it's treating them with basic human respect. There's a difference between babying a child and just giving them decent human respect, okay? Like why would you yell at them? Why would you grab their shirt? Like that's not nice. That's just because you should, yes, I agree, you shouldn't baby a kid, but you should not also like bully them or like be a jerk to them. Like that's just not a vibe. And I like after seeing that from her brother, or like seeing that from her brother, I was like, that is so unacceptable. I would literally never be with someone that's like that. I could never like someone that treats their little siblings like that. I hate older siblings that don't like their little siblings for absolutely no reason, or I hate when they treat their little siblings badly. It's just, what is your problem? You know, what is your deal? Okay. I don't care what the context is. Like, there's no reason to be a jerk to your little siblings. They didn't do anything to you, okay? It is a you problem, okay? Take it upon yourself. If you're an older sibling and you don't like your little siblings for absolutely no reason, or like you resent them, you need to go talk to them or something. You need to go like to therapy or something. Like, just give it a rest. Like, we all need to go to therapy. At least I feel like I need to go to therapy one day, but it's just like, give it a rest. That was another thing. I remember this guy I talked to, the Taurus moon. He did not like his little siblings, and I was like, why? Why do you not like them? You know, like they're just little siblings. They just want to spend time with you. They just want to be around you. And it's like, if you treat them bad, or if you like do that to them, they will internalize that, like I did, and you will. And it's just, especially because he was like a dude. I'm like, some of your little siblings are girls. You know, it's just like, I hope that he fixed that, or I hope that he will treat his little siblings better in time, because that was just unacceptable to me. I do not like people that don't like their little siblings, and I hope that if I ever get with someone, they love their little siblings, or I'm gonna teach them how to like love their little siblings, you know, because literally one of my biggest dreams is if I ever get with someone, they'll have little siblings, and we can just like, I'll be like, hey, like why don't we take them out for ice cream, you know? Like, even my friend, like, she will go out, and like one of her little siblings will be like, can I go? And she'll be like, not today, like and I'll look at her, I'm like, can we please just take them, you know? And then we'll take them, and then I'll look at them the whole time. I'm like, you're lucky I'm here, because you wouldn't be able to go, which I guess is like kind of like guilt tripping, but it's like kind of like, you know, I think it's funny to like poke fun at that, and they're like, thank you. But I remember one day, one of her little siblings, we were going out, and she was like, he was like, can I go, and she was like, I'll take you out tomorrow. And I looked at him, and he looked so sad, and I was like, he knows tomorrow's not coming, he knows he's not gonna go out tomorrow. And I looked at I told her, I was like, if he gets ready really fast, can he go? And she was like, yeah, I guess, whatever. And then he came out with us, and it was so cute, it was so much fun. I love including them. I love bringing them along. You know, I'll take them out for ice cream. I'll, you know, buy them things, or I'll try not to too much, because it's like not my place to spoil them like that. But you know, like I'll tell her, I was like, we should buy them ice cream, or we should take them here real quick, or you know, like if they want something, like we should get it for them and stuff like that, because it's just kind of like they're little siblings, you know, like make their childhood memorable, you know, make them like you, make them appreciate you. It will do you some good in the future, okay? Imagine that they become rich and famous. What are you gonna do when they're like, no? Because I remember when, you know, it's just, if you're not gonna do it for them, do it for yourself, okay? Like, I'll just make it a point to love your little siblings. And it's just like, I hope that my future partner has little siblings, whether regardless of their relationship with them, because I will tell them, I'm gonna be like, we're taking them with us, you know. I'll be like, oh, let's go get frozen yogurt, and then their little siblings will be like, can we go? And then he's like, no. And I'm like, we're taking them with us, okay? So, and it's just it's like my biggest dream. And I remember her mom was talking to, like, her tia, she was like, the kids love you. And I was like, yeah, they love me. But, you know, I love them so much, and I would do anything for them, because it's just like, they're kids, they're so impressionable, they're going to remember everything, okay? They're going to remember, they might not remember what you did to them, but they're gonna remember how you made them feel, okay? And my brothers, like, I don't remember all the things that they did to me, but I know that growing up, I felt rejected, I felt neglected, I felt, you know, like a nuisance. I felt like I was like an extra body that they had to take care of all the time. I just felt like my existence was a burden to them at times. And I would never wish that upon a child, especially because they didn't ask to be born. Like, why are you being a jerk to them? Put your problems aside, okay? Get over it, okay? If it's that big of a deal, tell them later on, or like work through those feelings, but don't put them on your little sibling, because they don't know what's going on. They're just here just like you, living life, okay? Why do you have to like be a jerk to them? But yeah, I remember one time my cousin, him and his girlfriend, he took my other cousin, or my little cousin, everyone called her baby because she was the youngest out of everyone on my dad's side. Not anymore, but you know, they took us out for frozen yogurt one day, and I think we went to like Sam's Club or like Costco or something, but you know, like one of those like bulk stores where they have like the food court. And I remember they bought us ice cream, and they were just sitting there, like he had his arm around his girl, and he was just chilling, and they were smiling, looking at us eating ice cream, and we were just eating frozen yogurt ice cream. And it, like, that, I don't think he even remembers doing that, but that was genuinely one of like the kindest things anyone had done to me as a kid, you know, like that. It felt so good, and I felt so included. I felt like they cared, you know, because I feel like my little cousin, I always got left out, because, you know, and it was so sweet. And I remember they asked us, they're like, hey, do you want to go get frozen yogurt? And we were like, yeah, because, you know, we were like little kids, and it just, I don't know, I love that feeling, and I always want a kid to feel that way. And oh, dude, I love her little siblings, my friend's little siblings, so much. I think I'm gonna end it on this note, but he's the most heartwarming child in the whole world. And like, at first I just wanted him to love me, and I wanted him to, like, you know. And I remember the last few times I went, when he saw me, he would jump up and he would say, Justin. And I was like, you know, it warmed my heart so much to like know that he loved me. And then yesterday on Black Friday, I was sitting in the car waiting for my friend, and he put his hands on the window, and he was like, Justin. And I rolled the window down, and he opens the door. He's like, come out, come here. Like, that's what he was saying. And like, I followed him. He completely forgot why he even like, but it was so heartwarming. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, I love being around those kids so much. I love children. I feel like an immense duty to like protect them, and to be there for them, and to give them like good, like, make their childhood memorable. Like, they only get one childhood. Why would you ruin it because you have your own problems, okay? Like, I understand you have your own problems, but you don't need to ruin someone else's childhood just because of that, okay? That's so selfish, okay? No one cares, okay? Do something about that, okay? But don't ruin someone's childhood just because of that, okay? They're gonna remember it. Don't act like they won't, and it's gonna hurt them, and it's gonna just ruin their life, okay? Sorry. I love kids, but okay, that's all I have to say. I don't want to keep you guys too long. It's already been like an hour, but yeah, I'll let you go. See you next week. I love you.